Okay, I'm 4 right, 3 down in darkness. So you remember this cover from March 2015? Look at that lovely colour on there. I would suggest to you that that colour somewhat resembles that colour there. So, and maybe even with the titanium dioxide there, or titanium oxide there. So, and some of these other colours down there, I would suggest to you there is a fundamental relationship between that colour there. As I was trying to say yesterday, when you put a candle and polystyrene together just on the water, no egg in the water, it takes about 6 weeks or more to actually go, but it does go. So the organism will grow up from your inoculation in the water with just a candle and polystyrene, the polystyrene generating reductive flammable gas, of course, and presumably the candle is taking out any copper in the water, sort of thing, because we do know you can actually the candle will go blue over time if you actually play around with small dilutions of copper sulfate in the water, and you put a candle in there, you'll actually blue the candle like you can blue an egg, sort of thing, in a similar sort of fashion. Anyway, today's challenge, if we choose to accept it, is to take the idea, can we actually take this, like this stock solution, which I presume is going to go red in the next few days, which I will film when it does. Is it actually bubbling away? Yes, you can see it's bubbling away. Do a bit more. Yes, you can see the reductive flammable gas coming off. So I am doing other experiments, to sort of extend that sort of concept out, but we're just going to go back to I'm still on spot colouring. I think I might stay on spot colouring because I'm going to do some close-ups here. I may actually have to go down a bit, I don't know. I'll come out a little bit more. Yeah, get that bottle in, I suppose. We want to get that bottle in. Okay, that might be good enough. Okay, what about that? Anyway, so again, got a bottle here, no polystyrene in this one. But because what I want to do is take some cotton wool, and we're going to load up this container here, and we're going to see if we can get the organism to grow in this. But I'm also going to put some cotton wool in this instead of polystyrene and see if there's any bubbles come off of that, which might suggest that the cotton wool with its gamma bond might generate some reductive flammable gas. It might be the idea that the gamma bond, or bonds similar to the gamma bond, are important for generating reductive flammable gas out in the real world, sort of thing. So probably put this in here like that, as you do. So about, I say, half the container, sort of thing, and we're going to load that up with our concoction. And the important thing about the gamma bond is when it's cotton wool in general with its gamma bond, when it's 80% or more saturated, it will not rot, because the organisms of the wrong type that attack the bond they need oxygen, of course. But the other thing is, it doesn't even rot in seawater. So think about these places, bog swamps near the open ocean, sort of thing. Venus flytrap growing behind the sand dunes of Myrtle Beach. Now here we go. We've got ourselves inoculant. Now that's the inoculant is derived from our original discovery of the red organism growing with a mixture of charcoal and popcorn. Remember that? That's where we picked it up from. So you can get the scissors here. So today's antics are twofold. We're going to try and get the red organism to grow in the cotton wool, first of all, to match the bottles there. Finding out whether we need to have it sort of super saturated. So it'll be a closed off container, but it'll still have some air in the top there. Remember, air is 78% nitrogen, 20% oxygen, and 2% of other gases, various other gases. So you can see there we got the, there's our inoculant, measured out, of course. Now we got our egg mixture here, which we made up, and the idea is to put it into the bottle, because concentration, we discovered, is important. Now, I'm a skills-based fellow, as you can probably tell. Maybe I should do this round the other way so you can see it. I don't know. Where is the bottle? The case itself is missing. No, the horn itself is missing. As you said, I'm somewhat of a skills-based fella. So this is our egg concoction, which will grow the red organism as best we can. Remembering, of course, I was trying to suggest to you there's something really odd about these microbes and things, because most things go through climax stages. They grow up, they reach a climax, then something else will come in, and so on and so forth. It's the way like a bog develops, sort of thing. I know, skills, fellas, skills. I think that's probably good enough for this demonstration. You know what I'm getting at anyway. Remember I was saying with this one, it's sort of pink quite the way through, all the way throughout sort of thing, which is right down to the bottom sort of thing, and then it sort of fizzled out sort of thing. So, bit something like over here. Plant looked nice, one over here, doing absolutely bugger all. Alive, but sort of in a frozen, suspended animation sort of state sort of thing. And I'm just wondering, if we get the organism to grow, will the plants grow sort of thing. In other words, the plant is a organism-based life form. Without the organism in it and growing, you don't really get the carnivorous plant lifestyle sort of thing. So that's just the idea anyway, the concept. So we're just going to load this up, and we're going to put it up, get it to the right dilution. It's all scaled, of course. Right, where's my cap? That's what I want to know. I've lost my cap. So I'll just get my cap here. Over here, I think. Yeah, I'm only doing halfway up the bottle, roughly, because the polystyrene takes up half the volume, don't forget. Do you get that? So basically this is the same volume as a full bottle that has polystyrene in it. That may be a trap for younger players, because the polystyrene excludes half the volume of the bottle. We've already shown that in the past from other previous videos. So, okay, so there you go. It's all nice and mixed up. Now we're going to load up the cotton wool in here as best we can. So we're going to load this cotton wool up, and we're going to see if it's going to actually eventually we get enough of it. It's taking quite a lot, isn't it? We're going to load it up and see. Yeah, see there on the side there, it's about loaded up there. I would suggest to you it's about loaded up. You can put it in there, everything in there. Now we're going to put the lid on it, and we're going to see if it goes red. Now with the lid on it with some humidity in there, it may go faster than the 4 to 6 day that we expected to do if it was growing under reductive flammable gas environment coming off from the polystyrene. But we might discover that the cotton wool itself with its gamma bond actually generates reductive flammable gas. But we're going to see if we can do that by putting some into our bottle here in strips as best we can, and we might see the bubbles coming off of the strips sort of thing. So we're just going to put it in there, into our bottle. Of course now, once we've got the cotton wool in there, we're going to load it up to the top. It's somewhat of a fudge, but you've got to start, as I say, nothing comes from nothing, and you've got to start somewhere sort of thing. So you've got to remember that, even though you've got a lot of knowledge, it still comes back to you've got to start somewhere. So yeah, so we got these like strips like this, and we're going to put them in here and just load up a lot, about the same amount as we're in there, see what happens. Trying to keep things similar, if not the same, to a certain degree, a certain extent, Can't always do that. Got to start somewhere. As I say, you've got to start somewhere. You've got to get off your ass and do some work, Can't just sit down there reading a copy of Schnellus all day long and thinking, oh, these plants look so lovely, colourful in the wild, how does Mother Nature do it? At some point in time, you've got to put down your 50-50 peat and sand formulation and say, no, I really want to know what's going on, and I'm going to put this in. Let's see if we can see any bubbles coming up in this. Does it come off the cotton wool? How much have we got there? I suggest to you we could have a little bit more cotton wool in there, probably another load, and that would be ideal, sort of thing, and that will give us enough to see the clear water, see the cotton wool, and see where the bubbles are coming up from. Are they coming off the cotton wool? Are they just being generated in situ? Blah blah. That's if there are any bubbles, of course, and of course you can always test for the bubbles, but I don't really want to do it this time of year because we are still in the bushfire season here, and it's a definite no-no. Aussies, we'll not push that. We'll wait until we get something. We'll do it again. That's science. It's all about reproducibility. We can always do this again during the wet, and then we can test it with a match or something like that. So we'll see. You might get a surprise. You might be getting two forms of reductive flammable gases coming up here. The organism may actually be a methanogen, which you can test for using UV, of course, because it supposedly fluoresces green, but our organism, when it's green, it fluoresces magenta orange. So it's not quite magenta, it's not quite orange, it's somewhere in between magenta orange, I think. However, when it's in the red state, it might fluoresce differently. Apparently these organisms have at least 3 chromophores, as they call them, so I think, well, chromatophores, I don't know, I don't think that's the actual word, but coloured units sort of thing, and photosynthetic coloured units sort of thing. At least 3, could be ones that, a side subgroup or something, a lesser known, little known, lesser known. One that has 4 or maybe more, you never know. So I have looked at this organism under the microscope, and the way I would describe it is like a wingsuit. One of those flying wingsuit. It's that sort of shape. A bit of sort of arm sort of looking bit at one end, and the rest it's sort of like a t-shirt sort of. To me, it looks like a depuckered sort of t-shirt, a wingsuit sort of shape, as far as I know. And they all seem to look like that. So I would suggest to you, it probably is a living organism, and which is a really odd shape. It's not a coccus or a rod or something like that. It's sort of anyway. I think that's enough there, and we'll have a look, and we'll know in about 4 or 6 hours if there's bubbles coming off it with everything's tickety-boo sort of thing. And we might, as I said, might not need polystyrene at all. You might just need cotton wool. Or a substitute for cotton wool, which might be sphagnum moss. I'm turning the thing around the other way. Sphagnum moss might have a bond that's similar to a gamma bond. If we find out the gamma bond of cotton wool generates reductive flammable gas, that might be why you need sphagnum moss, because that's the only thing that's out there that hardly reducible. You lose 1 or 2 centimeters over 5 years, or an inch over 10 years or something, with peat and sphagnum in a pot. So because it's not breaking down when it's saturated, of course, it's not breaking down very quickly, because the organisms that do attack those sort of bonds need be aerobic to semi-aerobic, semi-anaerobic sort of thing. So you might find, but it keeps it anaerobic by generating reductive flammable gas. Do you see the competing ideas like there? The organism can't break it down because it's an anaerobic environment, but it's being made anaerobic by the fact that there's reductive flammable gas coming up from these bonds or something. You never know, that might be the case. But anyway, we're going to put it down here, find a spot down here. We're going to label it, of course, but with these bottles I can't use a pencil, because I got the idea of using a really like a 12B pencil from Fred Howe sort of thing, and lasts for years sort of thing. But anyway, you put some silver tape on there and write on the silver tape with your pencil. You don't buy any of these special pens. A 12B pencil or better 14B or something like that. If you can get 24B, wow, that would be greasy, wouldn't it? Anyway, this kit's about to run out. We'll see what happens. Might make a short clip to see if there's any bubbles coming off. Okay, over and out for now. See ya. That's what we're after, fellas. That's what we're after.